often talk about SOPs. And um, if you're anything like me, and you probably are, and that's why you're in this Zoom or you're watching the replay, you've got a lot happening at once. And part of the a lot is ideas. A lot of us are visionaries, not necessarily implementers. We have big ideas and it'll come to us in the middle of the night or while we're on a walk with our dog. And we want to come up with the idea, grab the idea, create everything about the idea, and then be done with it so that we can get on to the next idea. And part of that picture is grabbing the idea and putting it into action. And the script for action is called an SOP, a standard operating procedure. So we talk a lot about SOPs in Staffless practice because there needs to be a non-emotional, non-reactive rule about each system in the process, each system in the practice. The reason that's so important, especially as staff less or less staff doing what's not the best use of their time, it comes down to dollars and cents. It comes down to, well, did you follow the SOP? And if you follow the SOP, the thing gets done correctly. If you don't follow the SOP and you just make stuff up as you go, you're going to end up going in circles. So I want to talk about the journey from the idea while you're walking your dog to here, team member, here, staffless team, here, VA from on the other side of the world. Here's the 1, 2, 3 ABC, go do it. And where to put it and how to keep it organized. That's what we're going to talk about today. I will say that for probably 15 years in my practice, my SOPs were in a binder on papers that had like napkin notes, right? With like coffee stains and holes in the paper. And I loved that book. I'm sure I still have it somewhere. At one point, I even went in putting all of the pages in laminated sheets because I loved it so much. You have to remember when I started practice, there were no computers. We weren't on computers yet. Everything was paper. So then what happened is when the you know what hit the fan, and I was like, I'm done with staff. I do not want to have staff in my office anymore. I had to have a very quick, like a Rolodex of how do I do that thing? How do I do that thing? And I started typing everything out. And that was the birth of the book Staffless. Staffless is my SOPs for a staffless practice. And some, like to the point where some of our clients are like, I need to do it just like Jody says in the book, right? And there it is, Dr. Marcy. If we go, let's take a step back. If we go to the walk with the puppy and we're going for a walk with our dog around the block and we have 50 ideas, sometimes people get hung up on that step where they're like, I don't even know what questions to ask. I don't even know what ideas I should entertain. So I've got a thing for you. My fourth book that I wrote is called The Curious Practitioner. It's on my shoulder over here, and I'm going to give you guys a copy of it. So it's coming to you in a PDF, and I'm going to throw it in the Zoom chat. I cannot call it The Curious Practitioner in what I'm sharing with you because of my agreement with Amazon. So this is called the Questions Book. Okay. And it's basically every question you could possibly want to ask and answer before, during, and after opening your practice. Because sometimes we don't even know what questions to ask. And once we ask the questions, then we go to how do we make that thing happen? Here's in a nutshell the beef or the marrow of an SOP. You're answering the question as if someone has never seen this system before. It's brand new to them, and you want to be able to hand it to them and say, this is how you turn the computer on. Who, what, where, when, why, how. Sometimes how much. Who, what, where, when, why, how. Sometimes how much. That's what you're answering in an SOP. Marcy, are you laughing? Are you laughing at the dog walking? Okay, so I want to give you an example of when this would come into play. Let's say that I'm hiring an answering service for my office, and I'm training somebody who lives in Chicago to answer the phone when it rings in my office. I don't even have an office phone, but say this is the example. And I'm walking my dog and I'm getting this really cool idea. Wouldn't it be a cool idea to have somebody answer the phones in my office, even if they didn't even live in New Jersey, right? And what I would need to do is come up with for that person to effectively do this job, who, what, where, when, why, and how much, right? Who are you answering the phone for? Who is this script for? Who are you talking to? All of the who's, all of the who, what, all of the what's, all of the where's, all of the when's, all of the why's about this thing. In my world, it gets talked through. All right, who? You're answering the phone for the practice members, you're answering the phone for our referral partners, you're answering the phone for me to protect my time and energy. You're answering the phone for you so that you can have a job. You're answering the phone for my practice at large so that I can say we answer our phone. That's the who. And you run through all of I love the analogy of you're baking cookies and you want to get like every last nook and cranny of the cookie dough before you put them in the oven, right? You're getting every part of the who before you go on to where, and then before you go on to when. I love doing this on an app on my phone called Otter. And I'm going to show this on my screen. When I use Otter, as soon as I start talking, it starts typing my words, and you can see it typing my words as I'm talking. And oh, look, my dog is pooping, and now my dog is walking, and now my dog poop has to be picked up, and I have to turn around, right? So you get the point. And then I can take this thing, and then I have a transcript, and I'm going to show you what to do with the transcript. I can also collect this brainstorm who, what, where, when, why, how, and how much. I'm going to share my screen with you guys on a couple of different programs.
Well,
Okay.
that's
One program is one program is Fathom. Fathom is an app that I have in my Zoom. And anytime I have a Zoom call, it kicks in. And at the end of the call, like here's a call I just did with Dr. Kent. I did this morning. He's so awesome, you guys. If you haven't met Dr. Kent yet, you sure should. And check this out. Are you ready? So in Fathom, I can copy the recording and send it to Dr. Kent. That's one option. Make sure if you do that, you're giving him access to view it. That's really important with Fathom. I can also grab just the key takeaways and go to that part of the meeting. Like if here, let me pick a good one. Coaching, creative pivot, Jody creative pivot. I click it and it goes to that part of the meeting. I can also, and this is what comes into play for you guys. I can grab the summary. You see that? I just copied the summary here. Here are all the questions from the meeting. Like if you're like, I don't even know what questions to ask, brainstorm and fathom by yourself, like the who, what, where, when, why, how, and how much of whatever it is that you need an SOP for. And all of the questions that you came up with will be right here. Okay. So I can then take that recording and I can throw it into ChatGPT with what's called a prompt. And as most of you know, some of you might not, so I'm going to assume you don't. A prompt is, hey, ChatGPT, this is what I want you to do for me. I want you to do this, and then I want you to do this, and I want you to finally do this. So I don't want to take that specific recording because there was personal stuff in it, and I don't think it's a good example. Let me give you a good example. Um, 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 Let me go to here's a good one. This was an interview that we did with this really lovely person named Angela. And I'm going to copy the summary and I'm going to put it in. I actually need to do this. So two birds, one stone. How's that? Right? I'm going to take the summary and I'm going to create a prompt. And my prompt is going to be This is a copy of the transcript of a meeting I had to interview Angela for our job. I want to create an SOP for the next person to interview a virtual assistant on my team based on the questions that I asked Angela and also all of the things that I mentioned to her. Create an SOP. I'm repeating myself now. Create an SOP for the next person on my team who holds an interview. And I do this and I paste the transcript and off to work it goes. If you want to follow our drag method, I'm going to talk about that. So here's the SOP. Very cool, right? This used to take us like an hour and a half, 2 hours to do, and now it takes less than a minute. Um, where was I going to go? I was going to go somewhere else. Nope, it left. If anybody was hearing my next thought, please give it to me. Wait, I've got to chat. Okay, so the drag method. So we came up with a method, and it was inspired by people who are already doing similar things with ChatGPT. And again, if you're one of our clients, just look at the AI course in Staffless Practice or ask one of the members of our team for access to this. The drag method is a way to pull from ChatGPT exactly what you're trying to get. D is give all the details. R is ask your chatbot to play a role, like your mom or a CEO of the most successful chiropractic practice in the United States. A is ask 3 questions, and G is to generate a response. That's the drag method. So I could use the drag method on this. It's not really necessary. It just created a really beautiful SOP for me. So let's look at the SOP that ChatGPT just asked. Anybody have questions so far? Are we good? We're good? Okay. Not rocket science, right? So far, most of this should look familiar. So this is what came up. Applies to any team member conducting interviews for VA. They misspelled Saya or whatever. Real world judgment. It gives suggestions and advice. It gives interview structure. This is a pretty solid SOP for hiring a VA. And in ChatGPT now, I can just copy this little guy right here. You see the little button that says copy? I'm going to copy it there. Now, there are a couple of things that I can do with it from here, and this is where I start to geek out. I love a Monday board. Don't you know it? So, Monday.com, and if anybody needs access to this template, you have to have a Monday.com account in order, or if you're one of our clients, we pay your way on Monday. If you have Monday.com and you want access to this board, let me know because you can copy it and then implement it in your world. This is going to look like taking whatever I just created a template for, an SOP for, and this would be for hiring. So let's say I'm going to add a new group and I'm going to say hiring SOP, hiring SOP for VA. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the little note section here and I'm going to paste the chatbot, the SOP. Guess what, guys? No guesswork. This is how you interview somebody for a VA position. No guesswork. Just make sure that you read over what ChatGPT gives you and that you like it. Okay. So I love keeping SOPs on a Monday board categorized for my practice so that anybody can step in and I can say, here you go. Here's my practice SOP guide. Um, that's my favorite way of doing it. You can also use a Google Sheet. So here's a Google Sheet, like to the nth degree SOP system. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a copy of this, share. Anyone with a link can view, so you're going to have to make a copy and call it your own. I'm going to throw this in chat. Thanks, Marcy. Okay, so check this out. This is like next level. Jody goes to town on a spreadsheet, okay? Um, this is a contact list SOP. So then Your front desk person or virtual assistant should never have to ask you for somebody's contact again if you do this right. Here is the team members and all of their information if you have a team. Your office systems, your office policies, the documents that are important to the office. This is a nutrition protocol, like an OG sheet. Isn't that beautiful? Um, Here's a new patient outcome spreadsheet. Here's a recall sheet. Here's a personal to do. And I think that this is still formulated so that if you type in what I want to do on Tuesdays, it'll show up on every Tuesday. This is like a personal SOP for Google, for a Google Calendar. Here's your family to-do list, your practice to-do list. Here's a super bill, right? Where is the super bill? It's on the SOP. Here's a daily checklist. I like to see this on Monday.com, but if you want a Word doc, here it is. Independent contractor options, terms, payment things, whatever you need to know about independent contractors for a practice, it's all going to be right here. This actually looks like payments for independent contractors. These are different ways to pay them. Here's your time map. Where's the time map? It's on the SOP. Here's an empty time map and a project invoice template. So you can keep all of them on a Google Sheet like this and just tab out the entire thing if Google Sheets are your jam. If you're like, nope, it's too complicated, I don't like formulas, I want it to be really easy, copy paste, blah, 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 then my suggestion is to use an SOP board. I want to say a couple of things about this before I continue. Um, I'm going to just put in chat so I don't, you know what, I'm going to write it down. I want to go into ChatGPT and then I want to go into consequences. Okay. Are we all in agreement that the three commodities that we're in exchange with people in our lives, especially our team members, are time, energy, and money? Those are the three things we give them, and those are the three things that they give us. Okay? In order to protect and honor time, energy, money with our team members, to protect and honor theirs, and for them to protect and honor ours, we have to have agreements around the SOPs. If a team member in the practice has an SOP on how to answer the phone and you overhear them answering the phone and they've already studied the SOP, they've already checked off, yes, I've studied it, and they answer it completely in another direction than what the SOP says, there has to be a consequence to that. There has to be a strike one, strike two, strike three, you're out. Whatever your consequence system is. If you, and on the same hand, so that's the consequence. If you overhear them answering the phone and they freaking nail it, and you're like, I couldn't have answered my phone that well, there needs to be an appreciation. There needs to be I really appreciate what you just did. I really appreciate you representing my practice in this way, and this is how I'm going to celebrate you. And you celebrate with time, energy, or money. The consequences are affecting time, energy, or money. Okay? This sets the stage for all of the agreements. Generally speaking, with a new team member, the idea is let me go back to the Monday board. So on this Monday board, I mapped out like all of the different sections that you could possibly want an SOP for, right? I think on one of our boards, I even have the SOPs pasted in. Please don't get mad at me if I can't find it, okay? I love the idea, and we talk a lot about this on the Staffless team, of recording my screen and saying, this is how you get into my EHR. You go to janeapp.com or whatever the URL is. You type in your password. You then do this. And what the screen you're going to see. I want to do a Loom, and Loom is a video recorder. You see the little windows up here? Loom is this little guy right here. And I can hit that little guy right there and I can start recording. I choose my screen because I have two screens. And I can choose to record myself going over the screen, and it's really easy to do. Where did it go? Oh, it's here. There you go. I hit the wrong window here. Here's the video, right? And I can choose to record myself going over the screen, and it's really easy to do. And I'm going to grab the link. I can also grab the transcript here, right? I can use this transcript for ChatGPT, and I do that often. And then I will put it right here so that they can't be like, I just want to see you doing it. Well, guess what, buddy? There it is. If I'm hiring for a new role, I will do a once over on the videos for all of the things that we do so that it's updated and correct. And then I can say, here, train on part one. They watch the video, they do the thing, and they check it off. I want to delete this because it'll be really confusing to anybody watching. There we go. All right. And then like team trained, you can change the status, working on it, stuck done. And then SOP status, working on it, stuck done. That's the SOPonmonday.com. I wanted to show you one more thing. Where do I want to do this? I want to go into, I'm going to log out here and I'm going to go into the Staffless practice ChatGPT. This is really freaking cool, you guys. I think it's really cool. I'm geeking out on it. I think our team is too. Okay, so here is Go Staffless Workspace for ChatGPT. Every one of our clients, there we go, projects. Every one of our clients has a folder here. Marcy has a folder here. And everything that has ever been submitted to our team for that client goes into their ChatGPT channel. So if I want to do a new one, and let's call this Jane Doe. So Jane Doe's my new client and she signs up for our program and she gets an appreciation survey. I take the appreciation survey. Well, I don't do it. One of our VAs does it, but guess what? They follow the SOP to do it. And he's going to paste the appreciation survey right into Jane Doe's ChatGPT. And the prompt is going to be, use this appreciation survey to further train this ChatGPT. And we do that with all of their brand stuff. We scrape their website. We do it with their website. We take all of the, if they work on perfect practice member and they make their perfect practice member clear as day, whatever it is that they give us, whether it's an image or a folder, whatever is out there online about them, we're going to feed to their chatbot. I want you guys to do the same thing for your practice. Any form you create, any chatbot, or I'm sorry, any SOP you create, any email you write to your practice members, any newsletter you send out. If you're working with us, anything we create for you, go to your website, Google your name, whatever you can find.
Right now, why can I
Start
not
training this chatbot. And then I can go to my chatbot on ChatGPT for Jody Dinnerman, and I can say, help me figure out the best way to get out of overwhelm. Guess what? The chatbot knows me because I put all my shit in it, right? Help me to come up with a perfect schedule for my family. Help me create a shopping list. ChatGPT can even be my fitness pal now. Help me set my macros for the week. And boy, oh boy, don't I riff with ChatGPT on my macros. My girl knows what's
right?
going on. um, we use this to
Probably
best
not.
support our team, our clients, so that when it's time for us to put, I'm going to just mute you guys out. There we go. If you're on my website and you're a visitor and you're asking a question, wouldn't it be cool if the AI bot that greets you on my website had all of that training already? Oh, I know how to answer this for Dr. Jody's practice. If you text my practice and I have my AI bot turned on, wouldn't it be cool if the conversation that happens with that AI bot has already knows my hopes and my dreams and what our practice is about and who my perfect practice member is? Wouldn't it be cool if I needed an SOP for how to interview for an office manager or a coach or a husband, like whatever it is that you're looking for, you can riff with ChatGPT on it because you've already trained it. So do the work. Form an SOP for your ChatGPT. Okay. I wanted to show you one more thing. This is for my sweeties. If you already have a practice suite, a lot of you don't know this, and I want you to know this. If you're ever in your practice suite, and if you don't know what this is, it's an all-in-one client communication platform. It's one click ready, right? If you're in your practice suite and you're having a conversation with Jody Dinnerman and you want to put the conversation on hold, or you want to maybe message her in an hour, or whatever you want to do, and you're like, I don't know how to do that. I don't want to lean on Jody's team. I just want, I want the answer now. I don't want to have to go out of the suite, blah, blah, blah. Whatever your story is about it. There's a yellow button in your practice suite. These are all of the SOPs on how to run a suite. You should never have to go into the Learning Center again. They're all here for you. We have trained this chatbot up the wazoo. Sometimes, every once in a while, there's an error. And we're learning this. We're building these chatbots for all of our clients, and we're learning like if if you give your chatbot your fees. And then last Wednesday, you changed your fees by 10%. Your chatbot isn't necessarily going to know that you changed your fees, especially if you didn't already post it online, right? However, you guys, please hear me say this because it's going to save you a ton of time, right, Deb? Your chatbot, you can train it to answer the question about your fees to say, this is absolutely subject to change. So as we're going in and we're building all these chatbots with all the SOPs for our clients, anything that's time sensitive that could change, like money, time, it always comes back to time, energy, money. Time, your office hours might change. Energy, what you offer in a visit. Money, how much does it cost? What does insurance cover it? If you change those things regularly, yearly, every 2 years, whatever it is, your chatbot should be trained and do this on your end to always answer the question by saying, this is subject to change. These days, right now, this morning, I hired a virtual assistant for $6 an hour. Her name is Angela. You just saw her interview. And her job is going to be to take all of our SOPs on all things brand for staffless practice and train a chatbot. And we probably have 40 to 50 SOPs on brand. We have them on Monday.com. We have them in Google Drive because there have been so many brains on the SOP piece of staffless practice. I'm going to say for my private practice, the more simple I keep it, the better, right? That's with all of it, time, energy, money. The easier my office hours are. If I have to explain myself after I explain my office hours, they're too complicated. If I have to explain myself after I say what my fee is, it's too complicated. Most people have a 3-second attention span. So you should be building SOPs on really simple concepts, something that a 10-year-old can understand. And 10-year-olds in 2026 understand a whole lot more than 10-year-olds in 2018 or 2017 did. So you have a big range there, right? Um, I am going to ask you, I'm going to beg you to set a timer on your phone for once a quarter to review your SOPs and make sure that they're still up to date. I think that that's where a lot of us go wrong is we'll set it and forget it, and then we'll hire a new team member and they'll answer the phone in the wrong way, and we'll be like, "What are you doing? Why are you answering the phone that way?" And they'll say, "Well, the SOP said to do it, but you changed it a year ago and you never changed the SOP." So make sure either your job is, I like this being your job. Um, Let me say this too, okay? This is a really interesting concept, you guys. And this is from the EOS system. Dr. Marcy and I have studied this quite a bit. Any successful company, and whether or not you want it to be your practice as a company, Any successful company needs three positions to be filled. Chances are if you're listening to me talking, you're filling all three of them. They're three different seats, okay? Quality assurance. That's their main purpose. One seat is project management. It's managing the projects of the practice. Project management is going to answer the questions. I'm reading my whiteboard because I'm studying the dickens out of this right now. Project management is going to answer the question when and how. So if you need to create an SOP for time management in the office, the project management component of that is when am I going to create the SOP and how am I going to create it? That seat is in charge of making sure that that job gets done, checking the box when and how. Delivery is before it goes to the practice member or before it goes to the office manager or the owner of the company. Is it correct? Have you done a once over on it? Is the quality there? Is it up to par with what the expectation was? So, delivery for a lot of us is our adjustment or our massage or our treatment, whatever it is. Are we checking in on the quality of our service? So, one is project management, how and when. Two is delivery, what you're delivering. And the third is the success of that delivery, client success. So the three things that we want to be monitoring, and these are ideally three different people doing it, but most practices it's one person and it's usually the owner of the practice. We're monitoring the management of their jobs or the projects in the office. We're monitoring the delivery, like check the box, it's done, but was it done right? And we're monitoring how successful was it? Most of us drop the ball on at least one of those categories. Most of the time, the ball is we're so good at what we do, right? Our care is effective. I know that for most of you. However, we might drop the ball on the plan for the care, right? I want to see you 2 times a week for 3 weeks, and then 3 times a week for a month, and then following up on that cadence, and then doing the thing on visit 12, and then setting the next care plan, and then taking the notes, and then putting the notes in. We drop the ball on the details of that, the project management. So I wanted to mention that to you guys. Um, I think that's it. That's what I just said, the EOS system, Entrepreneurial Operating System. Get the book Traction if you don't already have it. That's what like people, their eyes glaze over. And this is the difference between, and you can see Marcy, your back screen's on, so we can't see it, but Marcy's got the book right there. Um, I'm trying to think of what else I want to share with you. You guys have no excuse to not have SOPs for your practice. I'm telling you right now that anybody graduating school, one of the first things they're going to ask you is, let me see your SOPs. Let me see how the practice is run. Let me see your stats. You should have an SOP on how to run stats. Marcy and I just recorded a whole masterclass on how to do your monthly stats. There's no question mark. You can take that master class. You can have Fathom in the background while you're watching it, or Otter in the background while you're watching it, and it will type up I think we even did that for you. Um, okay, watch this. You want to see something cool? For those of you watching the recording, I'm sorry. Yeah. For those of you watching the recording, I'm going to stop the Fathom now. They'll still be able to see this. Okay. Check this out. Now I'm going to make an SOP for what we just talked about. You ready? And I'm going to go into Fathom. Fathom is the recorder that I've had on since I've been meeting with you guys. And I'm going to log in. I'm going to do exactly what I just taught you to do with you watching. Okay. I'm going to go into impromptu meeting. I'm going to grab the summary of the transcript. and I'm going to go to ChatGPT. Ah, come on, mouse. My mouse has been being weird today. There we go. I'm going to go to ChatGPT and I'm going to give it a prompt. Um, Create a SOP with the following transcript. Make it ready for a checklist for our clients and include any links that are relevant with programs that I mentioned for them to sign up for those programs on their own. And there's the transcript, and here's your SOP. You get it? I know you guys get it because you're brilliant. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to go ahead and add this to a Word doc. And I'm going to paste it. Oh, sorry. Let me go back here. Your SOP checklist is ready. I want to copy it. Oh, it's copying this. There we go. Oh, hold on. Command C, and then I'm going to go here. There you go. It even categorizes the sections of the document for you. And then I'm going to share this with you guys. And then, so I would take this then and put it on Monday.com or, Google Sheets, whatever system you're using, whatever resonated most with you. Some people see Monday.com and they're like, Jody, I can't learn a new program. It hurts my brain too much. I just threw it in the chat. Okay, I'm going to stop recording. For those of you who are watching the replay, go make the world better with great care, and I'm loving you from here.